Namaste. Welcome to my video blog. This is Abhinav Prakash. Recently, you must have seen a number of articles written against the anti conversion laws in the states like Uttar Pradesh. These articles argue that these laws are uh, violation of the constitutional values of secularism, that these laws deny freedom to religion, and they are designed to target minority communities in India. In response to that, a very good article was written by the Member of Parliament from South Bangalore and the President of the Youth Wing of the BJP, Tejasvi Surya, where he argues that these laws are in fact perfectly constitutional and they will withstand the legal scrutiny in the Supreme Court. But going beyond these technicalities, there are much larger issues involved here and which are not even talked about. Now, let's say you have secularism in India, that India is a secular state. What does that mean? Secularism, by default, by its very definition, by its very design, favors expansionist, aggressive religions. So, in India, where you have a demography which does not belong to expansionist Abrahamic religions who believe in religious supremacism over the rest of the world, that only they are true and everyone is a devil worshipper, that they have to go and convert everyone by whatever means possible. Otherwise, the end days will not come and people will not go to heaven. So they believe in this conversion of the entire world to the what they call the true religion of the true God, one true God. Whereas indigenous faiths in India, like Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, tribal religions, different faiths and cultures, do not have that worldview. They do not have that construct. They do not have that drive. Now, they also convert people. So, different sampradayas of Hinduism go and convert people by giving them diksha, and they have been doing that for millennia. And this is how you have Hindu majority India. Buddhism does that, Sikhism does that, everyone does that. But that is not their core drive. This is not the prime motivation driving these religions, that you have to go and destroy the other societies and their religion and to make them into mirror image of your own. Now, if you have secularism, you're basically creating disadvantages for the indigenous faiths of India, and you're giving free hand to the very aggressive militant sects of Islam and Christianity who operate with multi-billion-dollar funds and whose only motive is to convert or to do whole soul harvesting in India. This is not a level playing field. Secularism in India does not create level playing field. It might be doing that back in Europe, but not in India, certainly not when you have non-Abrahamic religions in majority. And that is why you will always have anti-conversion laws in India, which will discourage or control the conversion by deceit, by bribery, by pressurizing, by unfair means. Think about a small tribal community in the central India, which has its own belief system. By making India a secular state and by allowing everyone to propagate their religion, you're basically allowing, let's say, a missionary sect of Protestant Christianity operating with multi-billion-dollar fund, and which in fact is a multinational corporation in itself. You're allowing them to go and destroy the tribal community's culture and faith. How is that fair? You are against multinational corporations. You are against these world, dominating companies, and you stand for tribal rights. You stand for indigenous rights, but then you also support these multinational corporations when they come under in the form of religious institutions, religious missionary organizations. Then for you, it's okay. They can go and do whatever they want. What happens to the right of the people then? What our secular class or the liberal class does not understand, that in India, anti-conversion laws are the natural byproduct of India being a secular state. Because you will always need anti-conversion laws to balance out, to provide level playing field to the indigenous faiths vis-a-vis Abrahamic religions which believe in conquering the world. And this is what we are not talking about. For many of us, the word is black and white. No secular, non-secular, no freedom of religion, no freedom of religion. How is a law which cracks down on people, converting people by fraud, by hiding their true identity, a violation of secularism? Do you believe that people should be allowed to go and hunt as the predators? Do you oppose free markets everywhere, but you support free market when it comes to religion in India? How does that work? I mean, why this hypocrisy? Is it hypocrisy or is simply inability to understand the wider issues at hand? This is something we need to talk about more and more in this country. That how the secularism as it is practiced in India is impacting the lives of the people. Is it for good or for bad? We see that every day. So whenever there's a religious clash, it always becomes secularism issue. Maybe let's say you have Western UP, where one side is Ashraf Muslims, the upper caste Muslims who have social, economic, and political dominance, who have that dominance, that power for centuries. And on the other side, you have Hindus who may be Dalits or maybe some other weaker section of the Hindu society. It may be a simple case of the powerful side oppressing the other side and there is a clash. But in order to hide that, you convert that into secular issue. You convert that into the issue of majority and minority, which in itself is a bogus construct because majority and minority makes sense at the local level, not at the pan-India level. And this is why I say that secularism in India is anti-people. It has benefited no one, not even the minority community. It basically applied to hide the real fault lines in the Indian society in order to divert the attention from the real issues toward trivial issues, towards a political narrative which allows the political elites on the secular side to do whatever they want to do. You have minority institutions which do not even provide reservations to the Dalits and the tribals. And then they are the institutions whose faculty and students will shout the loudest about the Dalits and the tribals. How does that work? Someone was telling me recently that English literature professor in a very prestigious minority college of the Delhi University was justifying the beheadings in France because that was, according to him, dissent against oppression. And that's very ironical because France is as secular as you get. But this is what is happening in the name of secularism in this country. A free pass to do the things which no civilized country anywhere in the world allows. No one allows it. Not even the Western countries allow this kind of behavior or freedom to go and literally hunt people, destroy their belief systems, harvest their soul by any means possible. And this is what we have to think about whenever these issues come up again. Thank you.